Yeah, I would just, I'm a creative, so I liken, what Apple and Samsung and Google have done by refusing to include the micro SD card slot, and removing this feature from their phones to, them being a troll. It's like we're trying to pass over a bridge where like our demand is extra storage and they're like, fuck you. As we try to cross over the bridge, they just pick us up and throw us over the edge. You know, pay me for this, you're a troll. It's like, and your response to us has been a completely unmerciful, oh, if you need extra space and everything, you can always pay us out of the ass far more than it's worth, for a higher capacity phone, or you can put it into the cloud and then pay us an unwieldy monthly fee that you don't really want to be chained to in the first place. You can do that. You can buy cloud storage from us, and by the way, we'll rifle through your files and everything. We'll have access to them and all this other stuff. Like I just can't with you fucking people anymore. I mean, I my switch to the Xperia was one that was made in extreme anguish and out of I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to pull that trigger on Google. I wanted to maintain friendly relationships with them as a company. I mean, I really appreciated some of the features that were on the Pixel, like the hold for me and all that other stuff. It wasn't like that. I didn't want to have to escalate to the point in which I was outright bullying Google into submission and saying, you know what, guys, it's all or nothing at this point. I'm not playing your game anymore. I mean, I'm not. I'm, I guess I should have been more curt with you from the beginning and, honest about what my position ultimately was instead of flirting with you and by buying the Pixel 7 Pro. I should have done more research before I committed myself to any one of the phones. In particular, I'm buying this one and then because it might have given you the false impression that I was basically okay with being put over a barrel this way, where, I had to beg you for the mercy of being allowed to use, a micro SD storage as an alternative and a memory card on the damn phone by you including it. Like, do you see where I feel abused? I feel like this has been an abusive relationship with a company that is trying to absolutely maximize profits and has no real excuse for this other than, oh, hey, we were trying to do what our shareholders wanted and, basically nickel and dime our customers out of every last possible drop and squeeze them for every fucking penny we possibly could out of them. And if that's the shareholders, my message to the Google shareholders is you can get something, at this point, out of the people that really want micro SD cards on the damn phones and include it, or you can get nothing because we're not going to accept the slop that you're fucking throwing at us at this point. You're not going to be able to do it any longer. Like I'm pretty committed, and if Sony decides that they're not going to offer that on their flagship phones anymore, like I swear to God, I'm going, somewhere else, to some other cheaper, crappy brand of phone. Like I'm just not doing it anymore. I'm not willing at this point to accept no for an answer about the inclusion of micro SD. So, if you're a Google shareholder or a Samsung shareholder, you need to understand this, that there is starting to be a mass of people that, have found the Xperia and, have found alternative phones and are willing to do the research to find which providers actually offer the SD cards. And, we're at arson mode, basically, where we're going to burn these companies down, not literally, but, metaphorically, if they don't, assent to our demands. We've reached the point where we have to bully them into submission. It's not fun. Nobody really wants to do it. Nobody wants to be rude to Google.
nobody wants to be mean to them really at the end of the day. It's at extreme reluctance that, you would say something rude and be a dick to Google, and give them a middle finger because this is a company that we love. At the end of the day, we're very fond of them, but they have become abusive in this way. That it's like Big Daddy is refusing to basically give the customers what they want, and this is not how business succeeds in this world. They don't refuse to include a feature because of the fact that they can make and squeeze just a little bit of extra profit out of them, if they don't include it, and then expect that the customers are going to stay loyal. You know, you already have problems in the United States selling your phones in the first place because, you're getting your ass handed to you by, Apple and everything. You're having trouble spinning your YouTube business into a profit as well. You're having problems all over the place at this point. Your one true success story has been, in selling ads on your search engine that people, they now have alternatives to, but they're still finding quite a bit of utility out of using Google. We like me, I haven't been able to fully let it go despite the existence of DuckDuckGo because, nobody else provides up to the fucking minute news reports on, things that are happening in the world. And, having access to those news stories is just unreplaceable. There's nobody else that's doing it. So, we're chained to Google. We're fond of them as a company, but, at a certain point, enough is enough in terms of what's being offered on the market. We've asked nicely. We've been polite. We've been, politely nagging them to, assent to our demands and include the micro SD card slot, but we've been ignored, written off as a, loud, outspoken minority, and basically, told, by other people in the Android community that we are dinosaurs that are demanding something that, is supposedly a relic of the past and everything by half-wits that don't actually know anything about micro SD in order to realize that, Samsung has brought it forward in their cards. Their latest models are like capable of delivering NVMe, speeds on, it's just this technology is being modernized actively by the people that are maintaining it and everything. It's not really mired in the past. It's meant for modern devices. It's being, used in this capacity. And, the people at Android that don't get this, like, just haven't they don't know enough. They haven't, sunk their research in it enough to know that it really isn't a relic of the past. They're trying very much so to keep it modern with people's expectations as far as speeds are concerned. So, you can get ones that are as fast as a fucking SSD, and not just any SSD. You're not talking SATA SSDs. We're talking, the full on plugged into the board, MVMe, speeds. And nobody wanted things to get to this point. Nobody wanted to basically get to the point where we had to tell Google, hey, it's all or nothing at this point. You can give us what we want, assent to our demands, put the headphone jack and the micro SD card slots back in your devices, keep them there, or we will flee to your competitors, find somebody who will offer those things, and, put you over a barrel. So as far as that's my pitch basically to the Google shareholders directly as an open letter to you, basically tell Google that we're not going to take it anymore as their customers. If you own shares of their stock, you should hear this. You should know this. Because I'm not willing to do it anymore. I'm not playing patsy with. I'm going to be the hammer, not the nail, on this one, and stop getting screwed over by you. I know that you don't make as much money if you liberate us and let us use micro SD, but I don't care. I'm not going to let you maximize profits on this one. So you can take some profit or you can get no profit. And maybe I am just one irate customer in a vast sea of, your customers. But, I think, in my evangelism in this and everything and making it open, I am informing your people, that there are providers like the Xperia that actually offer what we're asking for, which is the micro SD card support. So, go to your shareholder meetings, tell them this, tell them, deliver this, show them this video, tell them what I'm saying at this point. Like, I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to get this far. I didn't want to have threatened the company this way. But, you know, sometimes I've found that unfortunately, when it comes to capitalist corporations and everything, especially when you're trying to demand they do something that they won't make quite as much money by, it's like if they assent to, you're going to have to threaten them into submission. It's just unfortunate